It's Friday. It's fun and games day here on IanTheHRPro live podcast. As always, dangerously unscripted, aka I'm too freaking lazy to even put a list of topics I want to talk about in my show notes. So my name is Ian Hopfy. I am an HR consultant here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and I'm here to answer all your questions, but today I'm here to answer your unquestions because today is Friday Fun and Games. If you want to ask me HR questions, please go ahead and ask. Put it in the comments and I will answer it. But we are here to talk about fun and games, so we're going to talk about board games, Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering, what else? Popular culture, books, music, all that jazz. Basically anything and everything that's kind of fun to talk about on Fridays. And I like to talk about anything on Fridays because it's Friday, man. Nobody wants to talk business on Friday. Except if you ask me a business question, I will answer your stupid business question. So there, it's my show. It's my show. So, on the show today, I have absolutely nothing planned as always. My Earl Grey tea, and I think I'm a few minutes early this morning because everyone seems to expect me to go live at about 11:33. I think I got on at almost exactly 11, or it just switched over to 11:30. It just switched over to 11:31, I think, when I went live. So maybe I'm getting better. Maybe I'm not. So there. Last week for our fun and games, I was doing live social selling on Whatnot. So I got a bunch of old comic books that I bought when I was a teenager and that I got back in the 80s. So I was trying to sell off some of those. And also Magic cards. I got a bunch of old Magic cards I still haven't had a chance to go through. And I bought some new Magic cards to see what they were all about. I still got to build a new deck, a new green deck. I bought some special creatures for myself, and I just realized I have no idea where I put them. They're just gonzo. No, they're right here. Woo! So I was thinking about making a 60 card deck with them, a 60 card green deck. This is beside my... And I talk about them all the time. My favorite Magic card, even though it is not so good, it's really not that good. Scaled Wurm. He's a 7/6 creature. So it means he hits with 7 and defends with 6. So he's a really tough creature. And in actuality, he's really expensive to get out. 7 colorless mana and 1 green mana. So with Magic the Gathering, if you don't know, mana is land. And in order to get mana out of a land, you have to tap it on the game board. So it's like this, and then you tap it and you get yourself a mana. So this is 7 colorless and 1 green. So in that respect, if this guy was in a multicolored deck and only needed 1 green, means that he could come out with multiple colors, and because the 7 colorless could be any colors, not just no color mana, because every mana has a color unless it's an artifact that gives off colorless or some other special card or thing that gives off the colorless. But anyway, so I'd previously talked about how the Scaled Wurm took me 3 turns to bring out on a perfect game. So how often does that happen? Not often. I think normally I'm 5 or 6 turns to get the scaled Wurm out. He's awesome. He's blue. He's a green card. He's got some wicked pink and purple on him. He's a cool dude. He's a cool looking. He looks like the Skeksis from the Dark Crystal. His head. Oh yes, good. Like those guys, right? So anyway, that was my favorite scaled Wurm. 8 mana to get out. Cost of 8, right? The only bonus was that it's only 1 green. So if it was in a multicolored deck, it might be able to kind of come out a little bit sooner. So I did research. I did research here on the show, I believe. And we were looking at the best. What were we looking at? We were looking at the best green cards, or we were looking at the best new Magic cards, like ever type thing. So Earl Grey tea in my Big Stone Creation cup. So in that search, we discovered the Colossal Dreadmaw. The Colossal Dreadmaw. I don't know if you're seeing that backwards. It's probably, you can't read it. But that's just like a giant dinosaur. He's like a giant T-Rex, right? He's a creature. Dinosaur. He's got trample. So that means if you assign a creature to block him as he's attacking, if that creature is less than what he's damaging with, it'll kill your creature, and then he'll keep going and kill the next creature that you assign to it. Or if he's still got damage left, he'll directly damage you. So that's the good thing about trample. So he's 6'6". The scaled Wurm was 6'7" or 7'6". So the scaled Wurm did more damage in his attack, but he doesn't have trample, and he's more expensive. The scaled Wurm being 8 to bring out, 1 green, 7 other colors or colorless. But the Colossal Dreadmaw is 4 colorless and 2 green. So maybe not as good a card for a multicolored deck, but a green deck, that's totally fine. 6, 8. 6 to get out, 8 to get out. Trample. No special whatsoever. This has trample. And this has more damage, but it's only 1 less. So are we trading 1 damage for the trample ability? Maybe. But to have the cost to be reduced by 2 from 8 to 6, I think this makes it a way, way, way better card, even if we're losing 1 damage. So I believe I will be retiring my favorite scaled Wurm, and I'm going to start using the Colossal Dreadmaw. And I purchased 4 of them to go in my 60 card deck. They were only like 26 cents a piece or some damn thing. I mean, and that's a pretty good card. It's way cheaper. It's just a slightly less damage, but the ability to trample over things and just blow through creature after creature, because it'll hit. So if you block it with a creature that's like a 2/2, so Dreadmaw will take 2 damage. Yes, but then he'll go to the next creature. Well, two of his damage goes to that first creature. So he's now like a 4/4 going to another 2/2 creature, and he kills that creature, and then he attacks you for another 2, right? 2, 4, 6. So this it makes him more versatile to kind of cut through the small creatures. And if I can get him out early in my green deck, my Magic the Gathering 60 card green deck, and of course I got to go through now, since most of my cards are from the Ice Age, the little snowflake. Ice Age cards came out in 1997, I believe. So this is an old card. This is an old guy. He's done his job for King and Country. So Colossal Dreadmaw is now taking out the Scaled Wurm. And I think that's going to be awesome. And I'm going to put... What should I use? Should I use magenta? That's the back. They're clear on the front, magenta on the back. Or should I use the sapphire? These are really good looking. Clear on the front, so the card goes in there. Solid on the back, so you don't see the back of the... On the back of the Magic card, it's just that brown Magic Deck Master. Right, so I had purchased all these packs. I'm using the gold over there behind me. I'm using the gold to protect the singles that I'm selling on the social selling. And I'd already opened the sapphire and I opened the magenta, but I hadn't opened the green. I'd specifically bought the green for this deck. I'm going to go with magenta, I think. But I had bought the green, what are they called? Sleeves, card sleeves, right? So this is called Dragon Shield card sleeves. And they protect your cards, and you can play the cards without them getting damaged. Now, back in the day, we couldn't find these, and very few people I knew had card protectors. But Colossal Dreadmaw has now gone into our card protector. I'm going to put all 4 of them in there, and then I'm going to decide on the deck. I've got to double check all the cards to make sure they're still legal. With Magic the Gathering, if you're going into an official tournament or something, you need cards. I think you need cards that are within the last 2 years, worth of sets, expansion packs, to make it legal now. I think that's how it is. I don't know these official rules. I should look up the official rules. I'm trying to make my decks official now because I got some pretty old cards. And I think, like the Scaled Wurm, it's way expensive. And doesn't have any tricks. Doesn't have any specials on them. So that's kind of a downer. I think that's how I lost, like, all the time. Yes, my cards came out pretty fast. There we go. All the Dreadmaws are now in the card protectors. And then you get 60 of them together, and you can shuffle them, and they won't get damaged. Or they won't get as damaged as much. Obviously, there's going to be some movement and things like that as you play. But it's better than having poor Scaled Wurm here. Look at his edges. Oh, he's beat up. He's beat up. And the front, oh my God, just worn out. Worn out big time. This guy's not worth anything anymore, obviously. Even though it's almost 20 years old. 18 years old. No, what am I? 2010s? 2000, no, 2000s. 2010s. And we got 6 years. Well, we're coming up on 6 years. And then we got 2 more years at the end. 20, like 28 years old. This guy has been taking names for 26 years. Ouch. Man. I mean, I bet you these card protectors were super expensive back in the day. I paid $14.99 for this box of 100. So I could make a commander deck. I still don't know the concept of the commander deck. I guess you have a commander card, so some legendary creature or something, and it's a specific color, and the deck has to be that color. So I would need a green commander if I wanted to continue with my green deck. But I believe the rule is commander decks can only have one of each card type. So commander deck, I can only have the one, but a regular 60 card deck, I could have 4. Very bizarre rules. It means a commander deck can have a lot more tricks and cards working together, cards that work, you know, like this card does this, but then if you bring this card out, it adds to it and does some really cool stuff, right? I think when you have the commander deck, I think you got to think of more tricks like that. Whereas a 60 card deck, Colossal, Dreadmaw, I mean, that's a brute force deck. That's me trampling you to death, right? And if we're looking at the Colossal Dreadmaw, if it takes me 3 times, 3 turns to get this out, how long would it take me to get the Colossal Dreadmaw out? I wonder. We're going from 8 to 6. Now on that 3rd turn, it's really a lot of stuff happening, because on that 3rd turn you can really bring out you can really bring out a lot of mana because of how much mana you've already got on the ground. So the way Magic the Gathering works, and hopefully they haven't changed the rules on me, when you start your turn, first thing you do is you put down a land, and that gives you the green mana when you tap it, right? So first thing you do is you put down this 1 green mana. Then you have a choice. I like to use the Wild Growth. And again, this is an HR Ice Age card. There is, I think these are 4th or 5th edition Wild Growth cards. Anyway, so you can either bring out a Wild Growth or something else, but you want to get more mana. Wild Growth adds 1 green to your mana pool each time target land is tapped for mana. So you put out this 1 card, 1 mana. First thing you're going to do is find a way to get more mana. Well, that's your Wild Growth. But if you tap it right now, you don't get to use the Wild Growth this turn. So what should you do? You go ahead and do it, kind of lose a mana, Or you could do something else that costs 1, because you have this ability to tap this, cost 1. So I like something like the Llanowar Elves. These guys are badasses, right? They cost 1 to bring out. They're only a 1/1 creature compared to our Colossal Dreadmaw, which is 6/6, right? This is a small wimpy creature, but he makes up for it in his Warface. He's just an elf, but his special is tap to add 1 mana to your mana pool. All right. So that's something, right? That's why I use these. That's the special. They're, later in the game, man, they're just cannon fodder, and I'm using them to block, right? Because once I get enough regular mana out, I don't really need them. Or I'm using them with, like, Echoing Courage and target creature and all other creatures with the same name as the creature get +2/+2 until the end of turn. So say I got 3 or 4 Llanowar Elves and I enchant one of them with the Echoing Courage. They all now become 3/3 creatures. 4 3/3 creatures attacking with the Dreadmaw, right? Like, that can be something. And that's what this deck, what my green deck is basically based on. Get mana out fast, so I could bring out the big creatures within 3 to 5 turns, and just jack up all my little creatures. So there's like four Echoing Courages in the deck and other things that'll jack up damage. And I mean, Echoing Courage is awesome, because if I got all the Llanowar Elves out, I mean, I go from an army of 1/1s to an army of 3/3s. So that's pretty awesome. Just till the end of turn. But that's enough to give a good hit, right? So I'm thinking, if I'm trying to bring out the Colossal Dreadmaw, I put out this 1 mana, I tap it, I pay for my Llanowar Elves. Now, my Llanowar Elves can't do anything. Any creature you bring out has what's called Summoning Sickness. It can't do anything the first turn unless it specifically says so in the card. It'll say this card comes out and is able to attack or whatever. But I can't even use, right, tap to add 1 mana to your, like, I can't use him to attack, or it's just I can't use him to attack, and I can't use his special ability, right? So he's kind of useless. But hear me out. If I had used the Wild Growth, I would have tapped that land and enchanted the same land with the Wild Growth. So I end up missing that extra mana anyway. So either option, I miss the extra mana. But sometimes, if you get too much mana out all at once, you give yourself mana burn. And that means you take damage for this extra mana that you didn't use that turn. So just thinking about that a little bit. So my first turn was put out the land, put out the Llanowar Elves. That's what I got. That's all I can do. On the second turn, of course, I untap the land, and I get a second land. So now I have 2 lands out and a Llanowar Elf. So right now in my hands, since it's the next turn, the Summoning Sickness is gone, I now have 3 mana. 3 mana on the second turn, when normally you would only have 2 mana. So there's something, right? So what do we want to do? 3 mana. And I'm trying to get my Colossal Dreadmaw out. So I need 6. 4 colorless and 2 green. I need 6 green mana to come out right now. So, is anyone chatting? I just want to make sure. Don't miss anyone's chat. As always, ask me questions about anything, pop culture, whatever you want to talk about. I'm okay with that. Fun games. If you want to talk about Magic the Gathering, that's fine. I am not an expert at this point, but I'm trying to get back in the game. So, you can also ask me a serious HR question if you're a small business owner and things like that. And you know what? If you're considering coming on the live podcast, now it's dangerously unscripted for me, but if you want to come on the podcast, I mean, on Fridays, if you're a game store owner, I think that might be awesome. But you could be anyone. You could be a small construction company contractor who loves Magic the Gathering and you want to talk about Magic the Gathering. We're still going to plug your business. We're still going to talk about your business. But now, people that like Magic the Gathering might hire you. I mean, that's a bonus, right? But if you want to come on the show, I do have my links, all my links up in the top corner of the screen. And that takes you to my link tree. Here's the link tree link. It is linktr.ee at IanTheHRPro. So that's where when you click on the QR code in the top corner, that takes you to all my links. And you'll see a spot there where you get info about this podcast and information on how to get a hold of me and stuff like that. And also want to mention, because Fridays, I think I'm going to go every second Friday to go live on social selling because I need time to find stuff. If you go to all my links, you'll see that I have a link to Whatnot. You can join Whatnot, and then you just search for me, the IanTheHRPro on Whatnot, and you'll be able to see my upcoming shows. And I don't know if I set up the next show yet. Anyway, go follow me. Go find me, follow me. And then when I go live, you'll be able to see my products and you'll be able to purchase something from me if you want. You don't have to. Anyway, so second round of the game. I got 2 mana and the Llanowar Elves. Fresh. I can use that. So that's 3 pieces of mana. So I'm just talking out loud. What do I need to do? I need to get 6. I don't think there's a way I can get 6 right now. I don't know if there's a way. I mean, this would have been awesome if on second turn, because it takes me 3 turns to get the Scaled Wurm out when I have 8. That's 3 manas and then all the wild growth and maybe a couple Llanowar Elves, right? I got more than enough to get the Scaled Wurm out. But I was hoping that by turn 2, I could get the Colossal Dreadmaw out, but I don't think that's going to happen. Because right now, I can tap the Llanowar Elf, because I can't put a wild growth on the Llanowar Elf, right? I can't do that either. This is an enchant land. This is a creature, right? So I can't add that to him. So what I can do is I tap the Llanowar Elf to get that 1 mana. So I'm not attacking with him. I'm just tapping it to get that 1 mana. So now I can pay for this wild growth, which is 1. And I can put it on one of the lands. All right. So I put it on the land, and it sits like that on the table. So then you know it's enchanted, and you know you can get... When this is tapped, that's 2. So I can use that 1 green from the Llanowar Elf, pay for the wild growth, put it on a forest. So I've spent 1 mana, but I still have the ability for 3. And I don't think there's any way I can multiply that right now, because I need time for everything to come around. Anyway, I could tap the single forest and put out another wild growth. And I could put it on the first forest. So then there'd still be 3 there. Or I could tap the forest with the wild growth right now, and that gives me 2. So I could pay for 2 wild growths right now. And I could put both of these on the untapped land. So I have 1 land that's tapped with a wild growth, and I got another land with 3. Still got 3. So I didn't lose anything. I added a lot of real estate this round, right? I put out a new land, and then I was able to purchase 3 regrowths. So, but that means I still only have 3 mana right now. I got 3, 4, 5, 6. I have the ability of 6 mana right now, but 3 of them are tapped. Right, so what do I do? What do I do at this point? I put out some other cards, and it really depends on what's in my hand. Or I just don't do anything, right? Because there's no guarantee I'm going to have some of these awesome cards in my hand, right? 3, 4, just taking out. So I think, by the second turn, yes, I have 6 mana on the playing field. Someone calling me. Like, they called like 3 times just now. Give me a second. My God, we didn't have any music playing. Wow. Let's put some music on, man. Let's do some of that atmosphere sound. And I'm going to just pause myself for a second and listen to this message. It might be important. Well, that first message was just an ad for some telecom company for my business phones. Anyway, second one. And that second one, also not important. Waterloo Ford here in downtown Edmonton calling me about getting safety recall on my truck. I thought I had this done years ago, but they're calling like mad. My only problem is I had a bad experience with Waterloo Ford, so I don't want to go back to them. But they're the closest. They're in the neighborhood. They're really close, and it's maybe a 10-minute walk if I drop off the truck and come back. But it's such a big hassle to drop off my only set of wheels, man, all day. They don't have your appointment's at 10:30 a.m. and will be done at 12 noon. Right? They don't do that. They say, drop it off sometime in the morning after 7 or after 8. And then we'll let you know when it's done, and or it'll be done by like 4:30, 5 o'clock. And I'm like, oh man, that is such a... That's like waiting for the cable repairman, right? It's like, he's going to show up sometime after 7 o'clock on Friday, and 7 p.m. on Friday. I'm like, shut up. It's terrible. Like, why does scheduling have to be this extreme? I don't know. Anyway, Magic the Gathering. So, the second turn, I have enough mana to get the Colossal Dreadmaw out. But I can't do it because I've tapped 3 of them. Right, when I was doing the Scaled Wurm, I needed the third turn in order to get enough mana out. So if we go into third turn like this, well, I got 3 pieces of mana that I could use. So what am I going to do? I'm going to try to get more of the Llanowar Elves out. I'm going to try to get 4. I'll have a total of 4 Llanowar Elves out. Now, this is a perfect hand. This is if I had the 4 Llanowar Elves in my hand, and I had at least 3 wild growths, and I had at least 2 mana in my 7 card starting hand, right? Or they came up over the first 2 turns as I drew a new card from the deck. So this is a perfect situation. This isn't how it's going to happen every time, obviously. So this is the start of the third turn. I have 4 Llanowar Elves out that can all be tapped for 4 mana. I have 2 lands out, and because it's the start of the turn, I bring out a 3rd land. So now I have the ability for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 fresh mana to go right now on turn 3. That's more than enough to pay for the Scaled Wurm, which is 8. And more than enough to pay for the Colossal Dreadmaw, which is 6. So, even though I was able to reduce my cost, it's still taking me, in a perfect hand, it's still taking me 3 turns to bring out the Colossal Dreadmaw. I think 3 to 4 turns would be best case scenario for the Colossal Dreadmaw. And that's if I had one in my hand. I might not have one in my hand, right? So, but that is just a massive amount of mana. And if I had the 4th wild growth that I could have, I could use one Llanowar Elves, jack up another mana. So I got 2 forests with 2 wild growths on it, each producing 3. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I still have 10, even though I tapped one of the Llanowar Elves. So, still have 10. But you look at your deck, like, I could have not tapped the Llanowar Elves, and I could have had the Echoing Courage come out. So I would have 4 3/3 creatures to attack with right now. That's 12 damage, right? 3, 6, 9, yeah, 12 damage. If I had the Echoing Courage out, and of course I might because I got 4 in the deck. But there's also some more interesting creatures. So I could have had some flying creatures. I like fairies, but maybe I'll find something. Could have gave myself extra life, Stream of Life. I mean, that's 10 mana. It's 10 extra life. Wow, you got to pay for it. So it would be 9. Some other cards that help jack up creatures. Okay, here's an interesting. So IV Elemental. IV Elemental comes into play with X +1/+1 counters on it. So it is a 0/0 creature to start, but it's how many you pay. So 1 green plus X. And each X gives you +1/+1. So, if that was in my hand, I am now on turn 3. I'm using the Llanowar Elf to cast my Wild Growth, but I still need 1 to cast this, the 1 green. So I use another Llanowar Elf. Then I have 6, 7, 8, 9. This is now a 9/9 creature. Nothing fancy about it. He's better than the Scaled Wurm. Stronger than the Colossal Dreadmaw. Not necessarily a better creature, because the Colossal Dreadmaw still has trample. So it can hit multiple creatures and still give damage. So IV Elemental is a strong option. Man, I need like 4 of those. This makes sense to have more of creatures like this. This makes a lot of sense. With this deck that brings out so much mana so early in the game. I mean, this is better than the Scaled Wurm or the Colossal Dreadmaw when it comes to damage. Right, this is better. Oh, God, something in my eye. I looked at my eye in the camera and I'm just like, oh, why is that eye acting all droopy? Anyway, it'll make sense if I have 4 creatures like this. Like the IV Elemental. For this deck, this is a prize. Right? Where's that? Where's that go? Of course, you always gotta have some trick cards in there, and some Stream of Lives. So, here's one. My God. Ancestral Mask. It's only 3 to cost. It's enchanting a creature. So I'm enchanting my IV Elemental, my Scaled Wurm. No, Scaled Wurm's out. The Colossal Dreadmaw, or even the Llanowar Elves. It says, here's what it looks like. It's got a crazy face there. Ancestral Mask. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 for each other enchantment in play. Enchantments. So, what I have here, I have 4 enchantments in play. That is my 4 wild growth that are boosting my mana. So 4 times 2 is 8. This is I paid 3 to get it out. I put it on one of my Llanowar Elves, and that gives it an 8 + 8. Right? 8 + 8? 2, 4, 6, 8. Yes. 4 enchantments, each of them worth 2 + 2. That's 4, 8. So now my Llanowar Elf becomes a 9/9 creature. The simple little Llanowar Elf is now a 9/9 creature. Or if I had pulled out one of my fairies, which was also a 1/1, this would be a 9/9 flying creature. So I need more of those. So, Wurm Weaver Coil. I mean, talking about all these big damage cards, right? This is enchant. Enchant a green creature. All I got is green creatures. Enchanted creature gets +6/+6. So if I put this on the Llanowar Elf, he becomes a 7/7. Definitely bigger and badder than the Scaled Wurm. Little bit or on par with the Colossal Dreadmaw. Right? Colossal Dreadmaw has trample. He does not have trample. He's got a special ability here. I pay another 3, and I sacrifice this enchantment. I put a 6/6 green worm creature token into play. So I've enchanted a creature, making it 7/7. But if I wanted to and I needed more creatures, I could sacrifice this by paying 3 green, and then I would have an additional creature out for 6/6. I mean, this is a good card too. It's a little versatile, right? So definitely I should get more of them. This deck is perfect for this. Sorcery. Overwhelm. It is 7 to get out. It's an expensive card. It's an expensive card. But we've already proven that on the third turn, we got 10 mana. Right? So this coming out, say, on the 4th or 5th turn. Convoke. Each creature you tap while playing this spell reduces its cost by 1 or by 1 mana of that creature's color. So I could tap all my Llanowar Elves, making it way cheaper, but I don't need to. I've got lots of lands out. It would be very rare that I would have to try to game it, but my Llanowar Elves, whether I'm tapping them for mana or tapping it to make cheaper, it's the same thing. It's the same cost to me. This, creatures you control get +3/+3 until end of turn. So all my Llanowar Elves become 4/4s. And then the Ivy Elemental is like 12/12. And, you know, like the one that was 7 is now 10/10. I mean, single turn damage. If this gets through, my god, that is a deadly hand. If I had flying creatures, if my sprites were out at the same time, this jacks them up from a 1/1 flying mosquito to a 4/4 flying World War II super fortress bomber, right? Like it makes a difference. So that's definitely one of those cards that I should have 4 in here, right? And it just bang, 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 just constantly hitting. So this one is only a single creature. I think I should concentrate on the cards that say all creatures, or have the ability to really jack up a single creature. Because I'm looking at these other, like this Moldervine Cloak. It enchants 1 creature to 3/3. Whereas these other cards enchant creatures to 3/3, but it's all my creatures. But those ones tend to be just single turns. This is a permanent 3/3. So we got to decide on that. We got things like the Giant Growth, which 3/3 till end of turn, same as the Moldervine Cloak. Okay, Wurm's Tooth, this is handy. Whenever a player plays a green spell, you gain 1 life. So every spell in my deck is green. So every time I cast anything, I'm getting myself life. Absolutely. That card is staying in the deck. Look at this one. Until end of turn, all lands become 2/2 creatures that are still lands. I mean, that's interesting. Is that... That's like almost Armageddon situation. Now, at this point, I'm only on turn 3, and I only have 3 lands. But using this card, I can turn all my lands into 2/2 creatures. Okay? And then I cast one of these other ones, like Overwhelm, and all creatures you control get 3/3 till end of turn. Like, until end of turn also. So suddenly all my lands are 5/5 creatures. 5/5 creatures plus other enchantments on my Llanowar Elves. I mean, come on now. Like, that's a good combo with the Overwhelm. But it is just a permanent. This deck is designed for one-shot hits, right? When it's not my turn, my creatures look unsuspecting, kind of weak. But then when I got the right cards in my hand, deadly, deadly. One of my favorite, the Blanchwood Armor. Enchanted creature gets +X/+X, where X is the total number of forests you control. Alright. This is a permanent. It stays on that one creature. So right now, if I put this on a Llanowar Elf, I only get 3 lands out, so it gets +3/+3. He becomes a 4/4 Llanowar Elf. Not bad. It is a permanent. It's not one of those one-time hits, so makes you think, should I keep it? So this is Rancor. Enchanted creature gets +2/+0. Not that good. And trample. So the same trample that the Colossal Dreadmaw has. So imagine I've just overwhelmed all my elves, and they're +3/+3, so they're 4/4 creatures. And I put this on one of them. It becomes a 6/4 creature with trample, and it's trampling in there, hitting multiple creatures, and then finally maybe doing some damage to the caster themselves. And it comes back from the graveyard every time it goes into the graveyard, so it keeps coming back to my hand. But that's all right. It's kind of tricksy, not quite that good on the defense side, but certainly a nice little boost for damage. And of course another Blanchwood Armor. Scribe Sprites. These cost 1. They're flying, and they're 1/1 creatures. So they're similar to the Llanowar Elves. The Llanowar Elves cost 1. They're not flying, but their special ability is giving me the mana. And they're also 1/1 creatures. So I found early on that you kind of need a different way to attack. Because if it's all melee ground attacks, you might not always get through. But if you got some flyers, they could fly over the other person and do some damage. But it also gives you a way to protect yourself from their flyers. So I think flyers are important. You should have some in your deck. I like to make sure I got at least 4 of these sprites in my deck also. Anyway, Blanchwood Armor, definitely. I just don't know about these end of turn ones, right? I gotta think about this. And you got regenerate. 1 to put in. It makes the creature stronger. 0 +0/+2. This is the Carapace. So it makes you better defense, but you can also sacrifice this and regenerate that creature. So if you've got a really massive creature on the battlefield, whether it's one of your Colossal Dreadmaws or one of the Llanowar Elves or the sprites that you've just jacked up, I mean, add that to it. then if someone does direct damage to it or tries to kill that creature, you can regenerate it. So having a few regeneration in your deck is important. I like having cards like Recollect. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand. So that's when your favorite creature dies and you want to bring it back. Or you have one of these like Overwhelm cards and you want to bring it back for another attack. And you got to have something like destroy target artifact or enchantment. That's the neutralize. That's neutralize. You go and you kill their artifact that's giving them some sort of bonus, right? And Moment's Peace, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. And you can bring it back from the graveyard too. So something like that is nice to have. Of course, your Stream of Lives. Jack up your health if you take a big hit. So I still think this deck is pretty good. It's just a matter of just tweaking a little bit and make sure that these cards are all legal now. So anyway, Magic the Gathering. Played this game for a few years. Nobody's chatting today. Music going on. Anyway, Magic the Gathering. Yeah, so I think this deck is still viable. It seems a little bit better without the scaled worms because they're like super expensive on their own. I should have never had them. I really should have never had them because they were so expensive. I think this deck could have got away with just those cards that jack up the creatures, right? But I think we've toned down the high end, the expensive end a little bit. So I think it makes this deck just a little bit more viable. I'm going to put it together. And then next time my friend Jonathan comes into town, he should come play Magic one day and we'll have a few rounds, see how it works. He also likes using my deck because he knows this deck can be pretty quick. So he compares it to his decks, which are always really good, and he normally beats me. That's fine. So I'm just hoping that if I can tweak it a little bit, bring up the speed a little bit, then I might be able to beat him a few times. But he knows if this deck beats his current deck, he's got lots of work to do on his deck. What are we at? 58 minutes. Fun and games. Friday. You know what? I am so burnt out and tired. I want to go. I want to be done for today. No questions. Next Friday should be my live social selling day on Whatnot. Join Whatnot with all my links on my link tree, linktr.ee/IanTheHRPro. Go join Whatnot there, and then you'll be able to see the live show. I will also have that link if you show up next Friday and I'm live. We'll probably be on the portrait screen, and I'll have you set up on my phone over here off to the side, and I'll be using the main computer screen here for my Whatnot live because I can see the chat better and the items better, and it just works out that way better. So that's good. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm tired. Nothing too exciting going on today, so Um, first day of snow here in Edmonton. It didn't snow a whole lot. I don't know, maybe a quarter of an inch, if that. Made everything white, but it looks like the roads and the sidewalks stayed dry. Even the back alley looks kind of dry. So yeah, I'm gonna let you go. Thanks for watching. I'll try better at scripting, okay, man? I'm just not the day for it, I guess. And oh god, I apologize for not being live yesterday on Thursday for the career club. I got an opportunity to do some training, some HR training for a company, and they're going to hire me as a facilitator to do some work for them. So that's awesome. And that's going to be a great opportunity for me. So I had to prepare for that meeting with them and just kind of demonstrate my my presentation facilitation skills. And I think most of their presentations are in person, so that actually could be fun, because I'll get out there and I'll get to meet some people. It's the same thing me and my wife does with do with the Kairos blanket exercise. So we get to go somewhere, get to see some people. I don't know how many people are going to be in these workshops. Hopefully it's not like 1,000 people or 500 people or something like that. Hopefully it's a little more tame, like 20 to 50 people. I think that would be a pretty good group for a workshop. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna end this stream. Everybody have a great week. I mean, I hope you had a great week, and I hope you have a great weekend. Okay, I'll talk to you later.